The Shoe Shine Girl, a story of lost and found. Imagine New York's Grand Central Terminal during rush hour. A small girl sits on the cold floor. In her hands is a shoe shine kit. Her eyes are full of innocence, and on her feet are worn-out sneakers. She pleads with every commuter who passes by, "Sir, can I shine your shoes? Just $5. But people look right through her as if she isn't even there, just part of the scenery. Some wave her away impatiently. Others put in their earbuds and walk faster. But the little girl, after every rejection, forces a brave smile. One day, a wealthy man in an expensive suit steps out of a chauffeured black Cadillac Escalade at the same station. The girl sees him and thinks, "He looks important. If I can polish his shoes, maybe he'll pay me well." Gathering her courage, she approaches him. "Sir, would you like a shine? Only $5. When the man, Mr. Anderson, looks down at the girl, he freezes. He stares, his face pale with shock, and stammers, "Sweetheart, what are you doing here?" Then, overcome with emotion, he drops to his knees and hugs the trembling girl, tears streaming down his face. Yes, friends, this little girl was his own flesh and blood, his missing daughter. But the girl doesn't recognize him. Terrified by his intense reaction, she pulls away from his embrace. "What if I go with you and you're not who you say you are? What if you hurt me? Where would I go then?" What happens next will truly move you to tears. How is this homeless child this wealthy man's daughter? To find out, please read this story to the very end. It was a typical busy evening at the terminal. The sound of train announcements, the hustle of briefcases, and the smell of coffee filled the air. Amidst the chaos, on the main concourse, a small girl sat on the marble floor. Her name was Sunny. Her clothes were threadbare. Her face was smudged with dirt, but her eyes held a resilient spark. She called out to the rushing commuters, "Shine, sir? Only $5. Most ignored her. Some frowned and muttered, "Shouldn't you be in school?" But a few kind souls, their hearts touched by her plight, would let her shine their shoes and sometimes even pay her double. The station was Sunny's world. It was her bedroom, her living room, and her workplace. She didn't remember a home or a family. She had been passed around by rough older kids who claimed to look after her, but she knew she was truly alone. On quiet nights, she'd curl up on a hard bench and look at the star-painted ceiling, whispering, "Mom, Dad, are you out there?" Across town, in a penthouse overlooking Central Park, lived a successful tech CEO, Alex Anderson. Alex sat at his desk, the glow of his computer screen illuminating a single worn photograph. It was a picture of a little girl with pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. His daughter, Annabelle. She had vanished years ago during a family trip to a crowded street fair. The investigation had gone cold, and the tragedy had slowly torn his marriage apart. Alex had everything money could buy, but his heart was a hollow ache. His silent prayer every night was always the same. "Please, just let me know she's safe." The next morning, Sunny was back at her spot, her small hands working polish into the leather of a businessman's loafers. She was tired and hungry, Just a few more dollars, she thought. Then I can get a hot dog. That's when she saw him, Mr. Anderson, walking with purpose through the terminal. People recognized him and stepped aside. Sunny saw her chance. She rushed over. "Sir, a quick shine? You'll look great for your meeting." Alex Anderson looked down, and then he really saw her. Not just another street kid, but her eyes. They were her eyes. Annabelle's eyes. His breath hitched. "Sweetheart," he asked, his voice softer than he intended. "Where are your parents?" Sunny shrugged, a practiced gesture. "Don't have any, sir. Just me." Alex's vision blurred with tears. He fumbled for his wallet, pulling out a $100 bill. "Here, please take this. Get yourself some food. Find a warm place." But Sunny pushed the money back, her pride intact. "I don't take handouts, sir. I work for my money. A shine is $5. Her defiance stunned him. It was a spirit he recognized. He knew in that moment he had to know more. He discreetly signaled his assistant. "I want to know everything about that girl," he whispered. That night, in his penthouse, Alex pored over old photo albums. Annabelle at the beach, Annabelle on a swing. He compared them to the memory of the girl's face at the station. The shape of the eyes, the curve of her smile. It was uncanny. A father's hope, long buried, began to rekindle. A few days later, he found her again. This time, he sat on her shine stand. "Do a good job," he said, his voice thick with emotion. As she worked, he asked, "What's your name, honey?" "Sunny," she replied without looking up. Alex felt his heart stop. Sunny. It was the nickname he'd given Annabelle because of her cheerful nature. Sunny. That's a beautiful name. Who gave it to you? "Don't know," she mumbled, focusing on her brush. "It's just always been my name." Tears welled in Alex's eyes. Memories flooded back. The crowded fair, holding his wife Sarah's hand, turning around for 1 second, and then nothing. The desperate searches, the flyers, the police, the slow, agonizing drift apart from his wife as grief consumed them. He gently reached out and touched her ankle. "This is a pretty bracelet," he said, referring to a simple silver chain around her ankle. "I've always had it," Sunny said, pulling her foot back slightly. "The lady who found me said I was wearing it." Alex's blood ran cold. He knew that bracelet. He had bought it for Annabelle's first birthday. There was no doubt left in his mind. He knelt on the dirty floor, ignoring the stares of passers-by. "Annabelle," he choked out. "Your name is Annabelle. You're my daughter. I've been looking for you for so long." Sunny stared at him, fear and confusion in her eyes. "No, you're wrong. My name is Sunny. Leave me alone." She scrambled back, her shoe shine kit clattering to the ground, and disappeared into the crowd. Alex was left on his knees, his heart shattered all over again. But this time it was different. This time he knew she was alive. He returned the next day and the day after. He finally found her, more wary than ever. "Please," he begged, his hands clasped as if in prayer. "Just one chance. Let me prove it. We can do a DNA test. If I'm wrong, I will set up a trust fund for you and never bother you again. But if I'm right, please come home." Sunny looked at this well-dressed man, his eyes raw with a pain she couldn't fake. For the first time, someone was looking at her not with pity or annoyance, but with desperate, genuine love. "What if I go with you?" she whispered, her voice small. "And it's a trick? Then may God strike me down," Alex vowed. "I just want my little girl back." Slowly, hesitantly, she placed her small, grimy hand in his. At the clinic, while they waited for the results, Sunny held his hand tightly. "If I am your daughter, you won't change your mind, will you?" Alex hugged her close. "You are my daughter. In my heart, I've known it since I first saw you. No test will ever change that." When the doctor came out with a smile, holding the results, Alex didn't need to hear the words. He saw the answer in the man's eyes. He swept a crying Annabelle into his arms. "I told you," he whispered into her hair. "I told you, my Annabelle." His first call was to his ex-wife, Sarah. "Sarah," he cried, "it's a miracle. We found her. We found our Annabelle." The reunion between mother and daughter was a storm of tears, hugs, and whispered apologies and joys. The broken family, against all odds, was whole once more, their love finally stronger than the years of loss and